What's going on? Move the Mouse here, back in City Skylines, the town of Springdale, episode number 4. I recorded this particular video way too early in the morning, and I'm doing a kind of an overdubbed audio here because I sounded very sleepy. I've been having some insomnia lately. I think I was on like 3 hours of sleep when I recorded this one, and if you've seen Wreck-It Ralph, I kind of sounded like Sour Bill.
I'm a sour ball.
So it was not very exciting to listen to in the edit. And if I'm getting bored, I would imagine you would too. So I wanted to just kind of time-lapse this video, get you caught up on what happened in this episode so that when we hit the ground running on episode 5, it kind of makes sense where we are. So what I wanted to do this episode was just kind of continue to extend the grid, and I figured that 45 units was the halfway point of this block on the right-hand side, Beamer Square. So we can kind of split that down the middle, have some avenues running north to south, south to north, around that central block, which is going to be bi-directional traffic. Now, I might end up changing this down the road, but it seems like an okay layout for now. We'll see how traffic flow actually affects it in the next couple episodes. Now, this episode really was just about extending the grid out to get to that 8,000 population milestone. That's where we get the high density residential, commercial, and office space, as well as unlock the IT cluster. And that's going to be all really essential stuff for the growth of this city. Even though I want this first avenue to run north to south, it was just easier to line things up and then switch the direction after the fact. And then the avenue on the outer side of the city is going to run traffic the other way back up towards the top. I was thinking about kind of splitting the audio up here because you can kind of tell when the Red Bull kicks in and I get a little bit more excited and animated, but I figured for today's episode we could just do kind of a quick recap of episode 4 and then we'll get right back into it. So I'm definitely going to continue with the upload schedule of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but we might do some extra episodes in between. Maybe Saturday I think is a good day. I know it's a lot of content for people to watch, and people have been, and I appreciate that. But this is about getting this build done in time for Park Life, which as far as I know should be coming very soon. And I kind of want to be able to hit the ground running with it. So I kind of got inspired to really start pushing the build forward. And 3 days a week I don't think is going to get me there. So I wanted to do some more recording. It's just unfortunate that when I did record this one, I was really tired. Again, not that I'm not tired now, because I'm still not sleeping good, but I feel like I'm a little bit more animated than I was at the recording of this video. So hopefully you don't mind the time-lapse. I love to share the build with you and kind of let you follow along every step of the way, but the kind of play-by-play narration, again, was not too exciting. So figured I would record over it and just give you the quick highlights of kind of what happened. Here I'm debating what tile do we buy next, and there's definitely some interesting spaces we could expand out to, but the one at the bottom right is the most obvious choice for now. But I think it's going to be interesting to see where we can kind of go from here, because there's definitely some options. But I'm going to really kind of fill out these tiles really dense and packed in around what will be our central park. And then once we've done that, we can kind of figure out where we go from there. I believe I mentioned before, but this map does not have external train lines, which is the one kind of downside about it. It's got everything else, but maybe what we can do is do some internal train lines. We'll put an industry pocket somewhere, get the cargo harbor hooked up, and at least get traffic that's importing stuff to the shipping up to industry via train, and same thing for exporting goods going out to reduce some of that truck traffic on the roads. But that's if we go the industry route. I do kind of want to do an industry pocket, but I am planning on removing the one that's north of the city in the next episode or two. Might end up being longer than that, depending on if I get sidetracked, which I tend to do a lot. But just to kind of let you know what the plans are for the future of the city, that industry pocket specifically definitely will not be sitting up there to the north. So here I'm just setting up a one-way 6-lane road. Now obviously we don't need that kind of traffic to support this low density residential, but this is all getting upgraded to high density, and we're going to continue bridges across the river. And that's what I kind of start plotting out here is, you know, what major avenues do we want kind of connecting across the way to connect to our neighborhoods that will eventually be over there. Here I'm raising the bridge 12 units first so that we get that nice smooth slope, taking it just barely across the river, and then bringing it down over 12 units of space for, again, a nice smooth slope coming down. I think it looks okay. It kind of looks weird if you keep the bridge at the exact same height as the road. I think that gives it a nice look. We might at some point change the number of lanes of the road. That gives the bridges a different look and feel. But for right now, 6-lane roads on those major avenues that are connecting traffic up and down the city and across the river is fine for now. So doing the same thing here with the north to south one-ways, and then south to north alternating, but eventually we might change that out and do two-way traffic on those. It really just depends kind of what the traffic looks like once it's all said and done. We can look at the flow, we can change some things around, but at the very least, this is the size of the streets that I want. The big avenues running the traffic north to south, the smaller roads running the traffic east to west. So we're almost at that 8,000 population milestone right here. And we didn't have to do too much more building this episode, just had to stamp out a little bit more of the grid. Now that we're able to unlock that, we're able to do the serious cutover of high density residential. And we'll see that in the next episode. I'm going to convert everything over at once. I'm going to save it first, and just in case it doesn't work, but I think that it will. I think we're going to lose a lot of population to do so, but we can time-lapse that one as well and just kind of wait for it to grow back and get busy again. So with that out of the way, I'll cut to the actual outro to today's video. So here we go, back to your regularly scheduled programming. I'm shaking my head right now. What is in the handicap spot? Okay, I'm gonna call BS on this. So, and maybe I'm thinking incorrectly here. Can you get handicap plates for a moped? Is that a thing? I don't know. I think we should tow this just out of safety. I don't see handicap plates on it. But this is my vehicle. Where is she? There she is. Don't mind me, kids. Ooh, doggies. Why can't we be a dog to run around the city? And who's bringing their dog to school? Those do not look like they are wearing the appropriate service animal attire. Rules and regulations are here for your safety, kids. Don't feed the cougar. Okay. We hit our 8,000 milestone. I'm sorry, I get distracted. So now we can start to, bit by bit, well, two things. Let's buy this area. Let's have a quick look around just to make sure. The water gets so messed up over here. It's so weird. And it happens literally it happens in waves, and it creates waves. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the water pumps, but I feel like it happened before the pumps before. Before the pumps before? Sorry. Yeah, I think you know what I'm saying. We've seen some really weird water physics in this map, and hopefully that settles down. I was gonna look at different areas, but we're definitely gonna buy this area. So that is 4 tiles, leaves us 5 left. We'll have a fly around and see kind of where we want to go next, but that lets us at least continue this junction down here. So one ways. Connect this down to here. That should let us connect this flat, right? Okay, so we'll have to upgrade the roads later. Let's see if it'll let us do this at the angle that we want. Forcing it to... We have a little bit of a bend there. Let's see what this looks like once we upgrade. A lot of lanes intersecting right here. That is going south. This one needs to go that way. And then these are 2 very close intersections. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. This one may get knocked out to help kind of speed the traffic along, but we shall see. So before I get carried away here, I think that's a good spot to break for kind of a relatively bite-sized episode. And next episode, we will stamp out the grid. We'll start to drop in some metro stops. I'll start to zone off. Well, you know, while we have residential demand, we can kind of recommit block by block. Because if you... Let's do one block real quick. This one that hasn't been totally moved into. So if we repurpose that right now... And so see, that'll build up again pretty quick. Oh, you know what? No, this is a project for the next episode because we've got to do high tech if we've unlocked that. We've got to do districts and apply the green cities or the self-sufficient buildings. Do we have high tech housing? When do we unlock that? Reach population of 11,000. So we can slap that on when we get there. I will pause. I always get distracted and I continue with one more thing. Not today. So let's call it quits for there. Thanks to the patrons for the support. Thanks to you for all the likes, comments, shares. They all help the channel a lot and are greatly appreciated. Join the Discord. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe if you're new here. Hit the bell to get notifications. And until the next one, this is Move the Mouse, signing off.